When I watch their former presidential candidate, former vice president, Atiku Abubakar, talking about Nigeria democracy in danger, making a substantiated allegation about its affair with the judiciary, I said Atiku is the least competent person to so speak. Atiku Abubakar is on record as having manipulated INEC and judiciary to remove Hashidu, who was elected on ANPP platform because, yes, Gombe. Because at the end of the result, his boss, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, said, Atiku has lost his base. He lost the senatorial seat, and now he lost his own governorship in his own state, and he lost so much in Northeast. Atiku, in response, as you will remember, manipulated all institutions such that Professor Jibril Aminu, who is already on record, and I speak with authority on this because we have the newspapers, he had already congratulated the man who defeated him as a senator. And there are stories as to between 100 and 110 million was expended for those who lost, who have been given certificate by INEC to voluntarily return the certificate, not through the court of law, by saying we have been well paid. We accept that we are losers. That is how Aminu returned to the Senate. Senator Zigwina is still alive. He had already considered defeat. By the same logic, Senator Zigwina returned to the Senate. And the man who was defeated, who won the election, also considered, and so on and so forth. But bad examples cannot be the basis for making progress. We are not about to copy him. But it's important that we remind Nigerians that talking about electoral fraud, talking about manipulating the institutions of democracy, that Atiku cannot be the advocate. He contributed his own bit to undermining.
He said he was mandated to take over Southwest. He only stayed left.
We need to remind people of their roles in history so that when they talk, they shouldn't talk as if Nigerians don't have memory. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is in print and electronic media where he said publicly that he regretted that the instructions his then boss, President Obasanjo, gave him, namely to ensure that Lagos was reclaimed to PDP by all means. He regretted that he did not carry out that ruthless rigging that would have made Lagos to become part of PDP. He regretted because he has now fell out of favor with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He said these things publicly. And I think the media, whenever you report us, report what we have said before, so that the readers can make up their mind about the value to place on the statement that we make. I hope that you will not also forget to continue to remind Nigerians that elaborate interview, thanks to Channels Television, that Senator Matu, then Deputy Senate President, narrated in an interview with Channels Television how between himself, Obasanjo, Atiku, how they used to rig elections. He taught Nigerians how to rig elections, how he was used and others to rig elections, to keep PDP in power. For God's sake, in moments like this, and in order to teach all of us lessons, you should play back these tapes so that Nigerians know who they should listen to when they talk and who they should not to. And if they must listen because they have no choice, when you put on your radio or your television or you pick a newspaper, you have no choice about what you read or hear, but you have a choice as to who to believe and the weight to place on statements made by anyone. We also have only one passport, the green passport. This democracy has come to stay. We all must contribute our quota to strengthening it and obeying the rules of the game. It is now a fact of history that PDP tried to deepen the culture of do-or-die politics, as pronounced severally by a president elected on their platform. It is a fact that PDP is a beneficiary of electoral fraud year in, year out, and over time it became part of their sing-song that rig them out and let them go to court. Many Nigerians of my age has not forgotten how PDP retained the presidency of Nigeria in an election in which the ballot papers used did not even have serial numbers. And majority of the Supreme Court judges felt that, even as we all know that when you go to a petrol station and fill your tank and you ask for receipt, that receipt must necessarily carry serial number for basic accounting purposes. The Supreme Court at that time, overwhelmed by PDP rigging machine and their determination to even convert angels to devils, persuaded our Supreme Court to accept that election. We brought Shehu Yaradua into office. And I'm happy that Yaradua admitted that even though he was a beneficiary of that fraud, but that is a fraud that must be corrected. PDP as a party can never, whether on ground of morality or on account of their known history, pronounce in the manner that they do, as if they are not the one that lay foundations for all the challenges we are continuously facing in our democracy. The current Electoral Act was not crafted by APC government. The current Electoral Act as it is was crafted by PDP government because they had the instrument of rigging, and they made it such a law that it is almost impossible for anyone who has been rigged out to seek redress from law court, which is why our president has committed himself to doing everything he will do to ensure that, on the basis of the lessons learned, that he will clean up the system and leave Nigeria with a legacy of, at least at the level of legal framework, that we should have better elections in the future. I'm sure you also know that we are the only party that, courtesy of the Supreme Court, we were not allowed to participate in any of the elections in Rivers State, except the presidential election, on the ground that INEC claimed that our party primaries had challenges and the court nullified them. And so PDP had Rivers without any form of opposition. I did a press conference and I said we accepted this judgment of the Supreme Court as law-abiding citizens, in spite of the pains in our heart, that we would take steps to do what the Supreme Court has to do, namely to reconduct the congresses that were done under the supervision of my predecessor, Chief John Odige Oyegu. I publicly admitted that we will obey the Supreme Court, even with the pain in our hearts.